All right, Life of Chance podcasters, I am so stoked to talk to Emily Robinson, aka Horse. Thank you so much for joining me on my Wallaroos series. I'm going to kick it off. Firstly, hello.
Hello.
I can't believe you stayed quiet for me to say all of that.
Yeah, look, it was guys. I'm looking at myself, so I'm freaking myself out.
Normally, Horse is known for being probably one of the loudest ones in the team. What would you say?
Funnest.
I
don't know if I'm the loudest. I think I'm consistently the loudest.
Probably true.
Like the decibels other people might have at points, but mine's just like constant.
Yeah, you can't sit at another table at dinner and not feel like you're in a conversation with Horse still. But that's okay. Everyone
to enjoy.
Everyone gets a bit of Horse when we're in camp. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with some quick fire questions. Don't think too much, but if you think...
Am I looking at you?
Yeah, ignore that. That's not really for you. Just pretend that's not there.
Into the soul.
Yeah, this is about us.
Oh, God, I'm nervous.
If you have a story and you want to tell me the story about the quick fire answer, you're welcome to. Okay. But like, if not, we'll just roll.
I've got stories for everything.
I know you do. Okay, nickname.
Horse.
First club.
Narrabeen Tigers.
Sport before rugby.
Rugby.
Nice.
I played soccer a little bit.
Yeah.
But I started when I was 8. So
yeah, one of the few in the Wallaroos. When did you debut for the Wallaroos?
2016, October 26.
Nice. Against?
New Zealand at Edinburgh.
Beautiful. Part of the Laurie O'Reilly series?
Yes, it was. It was a double header. The Wallabies were playing the All Blacks afterwards, so there was a pretty juicy crowd.
Nice. Heroes growing up?
David Beckham. I love David Beckham, which is funny because now his doco's come out and everyone's frothing him. Had a big argument last night, actually, about that.
There.
Yeah. I love David Beckham, but rugby heroes, Phil Waugh and Matt Giddo, I loved them.
Why?
When I was, Phil Waugh played for my club, for Narrabeen Tigers, and his Wallabies jersey was on the clubhouse wall, and it was like the worst. Can I swear on this?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, phew, thank God. It was the shittest little clubhouse. It was like literally a shipping container, and I thought it was like the best thing ever. Yeah. And his jersey was up there, and I loved it. And then Matt Giddo, I don't even know why I liked him because he was a back, but he wore this blue and white Madison headgear back in the day, and I used to wear headgear to hide my long hair so that the boys didn't know I was a girl. So I used to wear his headgear. Yeah.
That's cute. Yeah. I like that. That's a good story. Hobbies outside of rugby?
Oh, that's tough.
I know there's a few things that you do.
Yeah, I like to go surfing. Yeah. I'm not very good at it. So I'm all right. But more of a soul cleanse. And just hang out with I've got 5 nieces and nephews, so just hang out with them. Yeah, about the same brain age, so that's awesome.
Favorite music or song that you're listening to at the moment?
Oh, that's hard. I'm like
all over the shop.
I'm all over the place, a bit like my life, like my personality. I like everything. I couldn't even tell you. I honestly couldn't tell you.
One song. Okay, then last song you played.
The last song I play before I get off the bus.
Sure.
Yeah, I've made that question up.
Good question.
Yeah, My Hero by the Foo Fighters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Just like G's me up. Yeah.
I'll add it to my list.
Yeah.
If you could be any animal, what would you be?
Well, a horse probably. Nah.
Why?
If it was my choice?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't really know. Maybe a dog. Everyone loves them.
Yeah. Constant attention.
Yeah. Probably be a staffy or something crazy.
Yeah. Something that does a lot of movement.
I don't know. I don't know what animal I'd want to be. Like,
we'll take a dog.
Not a scary one.
Biggest pet hate in a teammate?
Probably heaps.
Just one.
People that try to not scrum in scrum boots.
Fair, relevant.
Yeah.
Topical.
Very relevant.
Okay. Beach or snow?
Beach.
Early morning or late night?
Early morning.
Night in or night out?
Well, it kind of depends, but probably night in.
Yeah.
Selection tomorrow, so no, I don't know, night in.
Yeah. Birthday or Christmas?
I guess now with like all the nieces and nephews, probably Christmas because they love it all. So yeah, probably that.
Nice. And cats or dogs?
Dogs, definitely dogs. Cats are weird. Chance has a cat. Cats are weird. Says a lot about her, but
She just made. All right, nice. You've passed. You've passed the quiz. Quiz section is over. Horse. Tell me what you do when you're not playing rugby. So what is your other job? You have a full-time commitment.
Yeah.
The thing that pays the bills.
Yeah. So I'm a carpenter. So builder.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a builder, I'm a carpenter. So I build houses.
Nice.
Yeah.
And have you I could go down a different path there, but I'll stick with, so building and carpentry, how long have you been a carpenter for? You're currently studying?
I finish at the end of at the end of this year, basically.
Yeah.
So I've done like a few things. I don't normally last longer than 2 years in a job because I'm just, get a bit bored of that.
Yes.
But I did building a while ago, and then I got a job with the Waratahs, opportunity there, and then I did that, and then I went back to building, and then I finally have ended up actually getting qualified, which is great. I'm really lucky I have a really good boss who lets me go play rugby, so that's awesome. But
give him a shout out.
Yeah, Sherricon.
Nice.
Sherricon. Yeah, it's good. It's a good crew, and work with the boys, and yeah, just have heaps of fun and build cool shit.
So when I knowing Horse quite well through spending an amazingly large amount of time together through rugby environments, when Horse has a project that she is fully invested in, I see Horse absolutely thrive in that environment. As soon as she finds a roadblock or something that pisses her off,
it's all over.
Yeah, it's all over. So I also have been lucky enough to work as a labourer through a small patch of COVID with Horse, and have seen her in her absolute element with her tools in her hands. I guess my question is, why carpentry? Is it because it just keeps you busy? Is it the fact that you get to see a project at start to finish, you see something physical get built?
I don't really know. I think that I definitely can't do an office job. I can't sit here for more than 25 seconds without moving. So that I don't know, it's instant satisfaction. I don't really think any of these things until other people say them to me. Mac the other day was she was like, you make something out of nothing. That's crazy. And I was like, yeah, I guess it is. At the start of the day, there's no wall. And at the end of the day, there's a wall. It's instant, boom, boom, boom. You shoot something together, there's a wall. You lay the floor, there's floor. But yeah, I don't know, it's just physical, something to do. And it's not a loose environment, but it's fun, and it's constant banter, and there's no strict rules or
I suppose
I love breaking rules.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I was going to say, you stereotype a building site, and you know that it's a freer environment based off the kinds of people that don't like offices.
Yeah, absolutely. It's literally a piss take, the whole day. You cannot have soft skin and work on a building site. You just cop shit all day. It's great. You throw it, you get it. Everyone's a bit loopy, and
it's kind of relevant because I suppose it prepares you for the shit chat that you either throw in rugby, or that you receive in a scrum or the breakdown. So
it's also I think problem solving, but outside of the box. If you told me to do something, I would do it a completely different way to everyone else. And when you're doing a job office job or a whatever job, you've kind of got to do it this way. Whereas with building, there's, as my boss says, more than one way to skin a cat. So there could be 3 different people with 3 completely different ideas, and you can do all 3 of them on the same job and pretty much just race and see whose works better. And so I don't know, I just like it, and it's great hours, works well with rugby, and my old body holds up at the moment.
yeah, I feel you on that one. So I suppose I want to take this opportunity to celebrate you and celebrate the fact that you are, in my terms, a chance taker of you have given up so much to play rugby and made so many life choices. We can call them sacrifices, we can call them whatever you want, but I feel it's a choice because it's something that we choose to do because we love rugby. And I think that's actually freaking awesome. Like I think it's so cool, and it's something that obviously we don't want the future to have to do necessarily, but right now this is the situation we're in, and we're freaking making the most of it.
Yeah.
So talk us through your pathways. You're one of the few people in Australian women's rugby at the moment that could genuinely say that they have played rugby from 8 years old. And that's pretty unique and pretty special. Like, when you started playing for the Narrabeen Tigers, were you instantly like, I would play for my country in this game? Was it, I see Phil Waugh's jersey up on that wall and I want to be just like that?
I think I was just a psycho kid, and I think I was destined to play sport. Like, my dad is a massive sportsman. He is 64, and I think he just played his like 57th or 58th consecutive season of soccer. So the bloke's a freak. And it's actually funny. So I got an older sister and brother. So my sister's was first, and he was kind of like, oh, my little princess, whatever. She was into horse riding. And then he had my brother 18 months later, and he was like, this is the one, this is going to be my soccer player. And he took Daniel down to soccer at like 3, whatever, some ridiculous age where dads go nuts. And he was just interested in hanging on the post. And at that time, I was like 1 year old, and he was like, you're my only hope left. So, yeah, I guess it was something that was a good, what's the word? Out release, a good release, whatever it was. I don't know. So I just played sport all the time, like constantly, any sport, whatever sport it was. Like, we didn't really watch much TV or anything like that. Everything in our house was super competitive. Like, you want to be first to dinner, first finished, first ready for school, first for everything. All my siblings are still super competitive, whether they admit it or not. Like, we have a discussion around the table. It's just World War III, yeah. All of, like, my sister's husband and my brother's wife are just like, you guys are crazy. But yeah, so I think that like, I was definitely destined to do something. And obviously started playing soccer because my dad was a big soccer man. He's from England. And then I was actually born in England. And then when we moved here, I was six or seven, I think. And we moved to the Northern Beaches in Sydney, and which is a super sporty area. And my neighbour at the time, Uncle Greg, was a rugby man, and it was one of those streets where we all played on the street. And he was just like, that kid needs to play rugby. Like, she's crazy. And my dad, like, my parents were like, yeah, sweet, whatever. Like,
take her energy.
Yeah. And then,
it takes.
yeah. And then, like, I went down there and I just loved it. Like, loved it, slept with the footy. And, like, I always wanted to play sport. But I think when you're that young, I don't remember being like, I'm going to play for Australia. Like, obviously when I got older, like a bit older, probably like 10, 12, I was like, I really want to play for Australia. But that wasn't why I did it. I just did it because I love playing footy. And to be honest, I was good at it, and you love what you're good at. So, yeah, I enjoyed it. And I was the only girl down there, and I didn't care at all. Like, I was a tomboy, and I didn't see it like that. Like, I wasn't like, oh my God, I'm the only girl. I just was like, footy's on, like, let's go kind of thing. So, yeah, I guess that's how it all started at the Tigers. And then, do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, keep going. So from the Tigers, you play junior footy. What age do you stop?
So I had to stop. So I played there until I was 12. And then I had to stop playing when I turned 13 because I wasn't allowed to play with the boys anymore. But there wasn't any girls comps. So, which was like the end of the world. Like, it was so devastating because it wasn't that I wasn't good enough, or like, I went to all these doctors and got like medical exemptions. Like, they said I was like strong enough and all this kind of shit. And yeah, it was just like, I don't know, it was just crap timing. And like, I wasn't the best student at school, and so like all of it kind of came to a head at that point.
At high school, right?
Yeah, like right as I was going to high school, and like I'd already been like to a couple of schools, and had a bit of fun.
Yeah.
And so then it was really hard, like a couple of years then. And then so like I still played like soccer and touch and Oz tag and all that stuff, but it's just not the same. Like you're just not doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
So then when I was about 14, my dad took me down to the Warringah Rats. And at the time, my dad, like he knows nothing about rugby, like nothing.
Saw a senior women's
Yeah,
program.
he just saw this. And he took me down, and Bez, Erin Morton, who was the coach at the time, who's like anyone in women's rugby knows Bez. She was
the last episode of my season 1, actually.
There you go. She was the coach at the time. And my dad basically took me down there on a Thursday and was like, this is my kid. She's crazy. She's yours. Good luck.
How old were you? Sorry.
I was 14.
14. Yeah.
And at the time, in that team was like 7 Wallaroos. So there was like that, and like captains. Like there was like Cheryl Soon was there. They had just won the 2009. Sorry, it was the year that the year before they won that 2009 Sevens World Cup. So it was like Cheryl Soon, Tui Ormsby, Chris Ross was there, Dan Meskel, Selena Dennison, Ron Sims. Like there's all these massive, like big dogs. Like Kobe J. Morgan was there, like
big names.
Big names. And like I was just this 14-year-old rat. Like I was
rat.
Literally rat. And I just thought it was sick. Like I was so annoying. Like now I'm like, oh God, it would have been such a punish. But and then I basically just trained with them for like a year and a half until I was 15.
And allowed to play in the competition?
Well,
Loosely.
allowed, yeah.
Loosely.
It's kind of
throw her on off the bench and
lied about my age kind of thing, and chucked me on. And then I've played I think 150 games.
Wow.
Almost close to 150 games. I think next year I'll play
for the
150.
Rats. Yeah. Huge.
For the Rats. So I've been there ever since, and they've never gotten rid of me. It's crazy.
I don't think they're going to either.
Neither.
Not in the near future,
No.
that's for sure. So then you play Rats, you start making it into Sydney rep teams, progress from Sydney rep teams. No, you debuted for the Wallaroos before New South Wales becomes an option to play for.
Yeah. So I played my first season at the Rats in 2009.
Mm-hmm.
My first rep team was, I played my season. I did 2 ACLs in consecutive years. So 11 months. So I did my first ACL, was actually playing Oz tag in the off season. It's my first ACL, and then did all the rehab. This was when I was young. I was only 16 when I did that, or 17 when I did that one. And then 11 months later, training, hadn't even played yet, stepped over someone, snapped in half again. So I had just gone through like not being able to play, and then I'd started playing, and then I did it doing something stupid, and then did it again. And so that was horrible. And then so my first proper season back, I think was 2011. I can't remember exactly. God, I'm so old. Anyway, and my first Sydney team was 2012, I think. It was either 2012 or 2011. And I debuted, so we weren't the Waratahs back then, we were Sydney, and I played at GIO Stadium, and it was freezing.
Yeah, ACT.
Yeah, ACT again. I think it was against the Brumbies. And oh my God, I've never been so cold in my life. Like, actually, that's a lie, I have, but it was freezing. All I remember is it was freezing, and I was like so stoked, like big stadium for me, and like playing with the big dogs, and it was really cool. And then from there, played the next couple of years. 2014 got picked in the Wallaroos squad, so that was my first squad, which is almost 10 years ago.
Yeah,
crazy. And went to camp, did all that, got picked for the World Cup squad, and prior to
2017 World Cup.
No, 2014.
2014, yeah.
So prior to that World Cup, they had a Pack 4 in New Zealand, and about 4 weeks before that Pack 4, the same knee that I had done twice, I was running around a cone and I completely snapped my meniscus. So all jammed up, got stuck in my joint. It was all fucked. Yeah. Basically. And so it was kind of crazy. They ruled me out of Pack 4, but they were like, the World Cup's a big thing, you know, we want to take you. And I was devastated, but I was also like, okay, like,
that's to go for the experience.
Yeah, so I got the I got an operation like the next day, got that fixed. It was started rehab. They all came over to Pac 4. They didn't replace me in the front row, so they took an extra back, and then was like ready to go to World Cup. Like I'd done all the rehab and everything. And I was only 21, so like it was a bit naive. And to be honest, it was a lot less professional back then. And like the comms, the line of communication was like
reflected the lack of professionalism.
Pretty blurred and stuff like that. And basically they announced the World Cup like list on our private Facebook group, like to the girls, and my name wasn't on it. And I was just like, what? Like I was distraught because I'd done all this stuff and I was meant to debut. And anyway, basically they didn't replace me with a front rower, and I didn't go to the World Cup. And then they got to the World Cup and a front rower got injured, and then they didn't fly me over, and then they pulled someone out of the stands that was there on holiday. And yeah, it was a pretty tough old time. And then anyway, I couldn't even watch, so I was just so debo. And then I kept going, still in the squad 2015, and then finally 2016, obviously played all club and nationals and all that. And then, finally got picked on the bench at Eden Park. So, and then I guess my whole like career, I've been, not my whole career, but a couple of times, like I've been dropped, like for 2017 World Cup, I got dropped for Pac 4 and then still got picked for the World Cup. And then same as like last World Cup, I dropped for Pac 4 and then picked for World Cup. So this year I got picked for Pac 4, so hopefully I don't get dropped the next World Cup. But
there's a few more Pac 4s.
Yeah.
Oh, their lights have gone up in this room.
Talking for so long. Hello, it's us.
Anyway, we'll just
there we go. Yeah, so basically the whole thing's been a crazy old roller coaster, and that was probably a way longer answer than what I asked for.
I'm so about it because I feel like that's the rugby journey, and that's like you've talked about so many times where like you've had to put yourself out or like go through trauma, be it selection or injury, and had to fight back from it. So there's a huge amount of like mental toughness involved in that, and a real commitment to something that you do love. Like it's a different thing, I think, when you're being paid full time to do something and the rehab is part of your job to get back to do the part of your job that you're supposed to do. Whereas for us and for you going through that from 16 onwards and doing it because you want to get back out there purely, but yes, you're doing a recovery from an injury for life, but you're also doing it because of something that you bloody want so bad. And I think
I'm obsessed with it. Like I'm genuinely I'm obsessed with rugby, and like some of the stuff that all of us do is just like, why would you do that? Like, but I really like, I'm addicted to it, and it's like a drug. Like
it is.
You don't, if you're not here, you like, it's like you're relapsing. Like you literally like when I don't get picked for a tour, it's like I can't even explain it. It's so horrible. Like you are so deep in that hole. It's so hard to be in, but then the light is being back here and getting there. So like I guess when you have all those shit times, you just like when you look back on it, you're like, like that was nothing. But at the time,
it's the end of the world.
Like when I broke my neck, I was like, this is then like I didn't think this is the end. I just was like, this sucks. But then like now I'm like, nah, it's nothing.
Yeah, it was fine. It was fine.
Yeah.
It's amazing what a little bit of
addiction.
Yeah. I was going to say context and like time away perspective can do from things.
I have an addictive personality, so God help me when I retire.
Yeah, this is true. So I'm going to ask you a couple of quick questions.
Quick.
Well, I hope they're quick. So you've just listed like 100 times where you've taken a chance on yourself, like where you've genuinely taken a chance. Is there an example that like stands out to you as something that you're like super stoked about, being like, I took a chance and it paid off? Be it in like, is it committing to doing your trade, or committing to the fact that you went through being told no at the end of 20 basically through post-COVID, you were told no for Wallaroos, and the commitment that it takes to come back, or like that's
I guess like on the field, like every time you are told no, it's a risk trying to do it by yourself and come back. But the proudest like chances that I've taken have definitely been speaking up. Like there was, a bit of drama that happened in the COFs year, 2021.
Yeah. From a Super W perspective.
Yeah, from a Super W perspective. And I took a massive gamble speaking out and doing that, and I didn't get picked for a year because of it. And at the time it hurt a lot, but now like so much change has come because of that. So that's definitely something that I'm proud of, and something that I would never do is something that I'll always do is speak up. And anyone that knows you knows that. Sometimes it's to my detriment, and that's why I have Chance here to level the brain.
That's a really cool note. You don't need to worry about a field one. That's a great example of a time where you've had to stick to your guns and do what you know is right for you, and take potentially the consequences, but also know that you're doing the right thing and it pays for you as a character to do it in the long run. When has someone taken a chance on you? Is there a person that you can think of? I can think of a heap of people that have taken chances on you.
Oh God, who?
But like in a really positive way. Like your parents, like
obviously my parents, like I always like remember this example, like my dad, and obviously like I've spoken about my dad because he's a sportsman, but like also my mum is like the most loving person ever. Like she, oh my God, loves everyone.
Yeah, but she really rides the wave of this.
Yeah, she's obsessed with me actually. Yeah. I mean, she's only human, but I just remember like she was just so supportive of my whole like life. But I remember this like my dad tells me now about this time when I came home from school, and like I was no good at school. It wasn't meant for me.
Yeah.
Anything like that. Classroom bad. And I came home from school and like had all these assignments and stuff. And my sister and brother are like quite smart, and not that I'm not smart, but yeah. My sister's a lawyer, my brother's an engineer. Anyway, and I came home from school and like had all this homework, and obviously I wasn't going to do it. Like it was like year 7, like first day year 7, like I was kidding yourself. And my dad says to me like now, he tells me now, he's like, I looked at those papers that night and I was like, am I going to fight with my kid every day for the next 6 years and try and make her do that and have a horrible relationship with her? Or she's really good at sport. Am I just going to let her do that? Like, and if I let her do that, I'm going to let her do it really well. And so obviously that's a big gamble. Like, he's not like questioning my education, but he knows what I'm good at and what's going to make me happy. And that's what was important. So yeah, I guess my parents took a chance raising me, I guess.
Like kind of have to without
in terms of like footy, I mean, I would say most people take a gamble with me. I'm like pretty divisive personality, and a lot of people that don't know me don't like me because they probably take me the wrong way, or
they only take the surface noise, right? Like and that's how most people react, is by judging a book by its cover, and that's your cover's pretty bold. Yeah, my cover is very bold. So I don't know. I want to know who are you thinking? No,
of?
I'm not thinking.
No, tell me.
I think my examples were going to be someone like Bez, who has taken you under her wing because she saw the same love that she has for rugby, or when like. Who else? I literally was thinking about your dad, and I was thinking about Bez.
Yeah.
But there are people like your boss who's taking a chance on you by saying, hell
I get it. Chance.
Yeah.
Life of Chance.
Oh my God. Nice.
No, Bez definitely like took a massive gamble on me. Like she is a huge influence on me, and her wife Cookie as well. They really like looked after me from when I was a kid, and that's still who I call. Like, I just had conversations then, and I was like, I need to tell someone. And I just called Bez, and then I'm like, all right, sweet, like, just get that. But I think that everything is like a give and take, and when someone takes a chance on you and you realize that you return that but you return that respect. And I guess so many people have looked after me, and take a risk. I think I'm a risky person and high risk, high reward.
Exactly.
But yeah, I've definitely stuffed it up a lot of times, but it's all right, I'm still here.
You live and you learn,
Yeah,
right?
live and learn. Or just live and don't learn and do it again.
All right, my final question for you, which I'm actually quite intrigued to ask.
Ooh.
What are you doing at the moment, be it reading, watching, listening to, or a hobby outside of rugby that challenges you or makes you think? So when you know, like, I will divulge a little bit further for you, unless you have an answer straight off the top of your head.
No, I don't know what divulge is either.
Okay, so as a member of the leadership group in the Wallaroos, we constantly discuss, you know, how to make this team better, and we think about ideas and ways of doing things. And, you know, we've got, for example, Mac Leonard, that's a massive reader, and I know you're not a massive reader, but you currently, I believe, are using Mac's reading of a book to get a certain dot point summary of someone's perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, well that would probably be my point.
So are you doing, like, what do you do when you're like, I wanna learn something else? How do you source that knowledge? Is it by conversations with friends?
Yeah. It's a good question. I think yeah, I'm in the leadership group for Wallaroos this year. I've been in the leadership group for the TARS since we started, so for a long time. And I would say that I'm the natural leader, but definitely in a different way to other people. Like, I'm not admin-y, or like, I do it my way.
Yeah.
And I've had to learn to deal with working with people that aren't the same as me, like you, for example. And so I think that this year I've definitely challenged myself. It's probably Ash Masters actually who's made me think more this year than she's probably challenged me the most with my leadership, and like how, you know, what I do with it and how I get better and stuff like that. So I tried to read. I'm the worst reader in the world. I'm literally like, I can't. But I tried to read, and I was like to Mac, I'm gonna read. Like, she's like, okay, sweetie, like, try. Anyway, so I bought a book and was like, I'm gonna do it, Mac. I'm gonna do 5 pages a night. No, I failed. I got like 2 nights in, and I was like, oh, this is so boring. So anyway, I've given the book to Mac and Chance, and they're gonna highlight for me. No, but I think that, like, in that space is more like talking to people, having conversations,
using your network.
Using my network, definitely. Reaching out to people. Like, I grew up with Callum Mills' sister. He's a Sydney Swans captain. And after the last tour, I was like, I need to, you know, challenge myself more in that space. And I haven't talked to him since I was like 14 or probably 18. I messaged him on Instagram. I was like, hey mate, like, you do an awesome job. Like, can we catch up for coffee? And obviously they had finals and stuff, so I haven't done that yet. But just like using those people around me. At the TARS, I've like had a lot of good conversations with some of the older players and even coaches, and like Andrew Blades was really good for that kind of stuff. So yeah,
you're a talker.
Yeah, I'm a talker.
I love that.
Yeah. I'm not a reader. Sorry. I am a listener. I promise. I'm a dot point listener. So sum it up, yeah. I can't be listening to, if I can tell long stories, but I can't listen to long stories. My story's like fucking, but if you want to tell a story like me, I'm not gonna listen. But yeah, I guess the way I learn is like, that's up for interpretation of anyone. But when you spend as much time with me as Chance has, then you can maybe assess the situation. But
I love it. I love the way you learn. I love that you are abrupt and speak your mind, but you also do take the time to listen and observe the environment that you're in. And then even if it's not at the time, but after the fact, you're able to have a reflective conversation and process and move on. And I think that's a really important skill, like, to be able to acknowledge something that you didn't agree with at the time, or you still don't agree with, but you can see why.
Yeah, I think that one of my sorry, just talking about myself again.
That's what it's about.
One of my, I would say, strengths.
Yes.
Is like, well, I mean, again, it could come across poorly, but I definitely like treat everyone exactly the same. So when I was a kid, we had this old guy, Uncle Bernie, who lived across the road, and he actually played rugby league for Manly Sea Eagles, and he was like 70 or 80, which now when I'm 30 doesn't seem that old, but when I was 10, it was heaps old. And I always remember my parents like say now, like, oh, we knew you'd be sweet when you were 8 years old and you went across the street and you'd have a full-on conversation with Uncle Bernie. And like, I've just never been someone that's like, obviously I respect people and this, that, but like, if you're the CEO, I'm going to say good day. And if you're, you know, a 10-year-old kid, I'm going to say good day. There's no like, you know, which can be taken the wrong way, but to me, and just like people are people. And so I think that I have a good level of understanding people. Sarah Nagama would call it emotional intelligence. She says I have a high EQ.
Nice.
But yeah, I think that I understand people and their situations, and then I know I feel like I have a bit of a sixth sense, and I can tell when people are off. And yeah, I think that as I've gotten older, I've definitely used it to my advantage. Sometimes I've absolutely missed the mark, like gone and had a joke with someone and they're bawling their eyes out, and I'm like, that's awesome, good work. Yeah, something like this one. But no, I think that you learn so much, and like as you get older, you're like, oh God, like I'm useless at this, or like I could be better at that. But it's all part of the game, I guess. The game of life.
The game of
life of chance.
Oh, that was such a beautiful sum up.
Yeah.
Wrapping it up nicely. Horse, thank you for your time. Thank you so much. I think we actually talked for more than 30 minutes, which
shocking. It's absolutely shocking.
Because Horse doesn't do meetings that are over 30 minutes. So thank you so much for your time. I feel like it's huge amount.
Aww. Also, I told Chance that I would never listen to a podcast because I can't listen for more than 5 minutes, but I'll definitely listen to myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Horse.
That was fun.